guys, welcome to Life is for the Living. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. If you're a returning subscriber, we appreciate your presence. Keep liking, keep sharing. Make sure you turn on the notification bell so that you get alerted when we upload new content. Alright, now I want to tell you some of the mistakes that I made when I was accepting the job to come to Sudan for the first time, and probably these mistakes, and especially since I was going to work in another country, it can help someone in future, because most of the stories that I'm going to be giving you are based on real life experience, and one way or another they affected me. So let me just use it as a tool to be able to also educate someone. Now, there's a video that I posted earlier concerning how I almost missed an opportunity for a job, right? From that video, that is when I was, selected, and that's when I was given a job. But remember at the end, I had talked about we were supposed to sign a contract on arrival to Khartoum. So what we had with us is an appointment letter. And actually the appointment letter just showed the agreement that the organization had agreed to give us a job, and then how much salary we are going to get. But now where the mistake started is, there are some other things that we had verbally agreed. I remember some of the things that I asked during the interview, when now I was selected, or things to deal with, other benefits like housing, like medical. Now, the person who was recruiting said all those will be included in the contract when we come. So whatever we were given was just an appointment letter. All right, at that time, it didn't seem to raise any, eyebrows, and plus we were just going to sign the appointment letter just say in a week or two. So that was not a big thing. But however, things really changed when we, when we got to Khartoum. Now, when we got here, of course, we kept asking for the contract. Now, the contract that we were given to sign wasn't okay, other than the salary that was on the appointment letter, so many other things that they had told us will be on the contract were not there. Okay, one of the things, I remember when I asked about housing, I was told that the organization is going to give us a house, and then we're going to co-share when it comes to payment. The organization is going to pay almost 75%, and then we're going to pay around 25%. Actually, the words were the organization is going to pay, and then we're only going to chip in, But now, when we got here, the contract was different. We were actually paying for the house, and the organization was chipping in, because you find housing was really, really expensive over here. An apartment would go for, let me say, an equivalent of, and by then that was cheap. That was around $500. That's 50,000 Kenya shillings. Because here in Sudan, I've not seen places where we have small houses like SQs, or so most of them are just apartments. It will be a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom. So I remember the first apartment where we were taken, it was a 4-bedroom apartment, and and we were 2 colleagues by then, because initially we were supposed to be 3 ladies, and then one stayed back and joined us later. So the organization looked for the apartments, and then it's later when we discover that the money was being deducted from our salary, and then only a very little percentage was being paid by the organization. All right, we were already here. That's what I'm saying. These are some of the mistakes that probably I did, or we did, and maybe someone should learn from it, that if you're going to take up an assignment in another country, kindly don't leave your country without a signed contract, because that is the binding document that shows the agreements that you make. So you see, the only thing that we had that was binding was the appointment letter. and to which we actually was receiving our salary. You know, the salary was being paid, of course, less the house allowance, but then some other things like medical, whatever that we had been told, are not there. Okay, at least we were able to survive because also the salary itself wasn't a very bad package. But when I'm saying the mistake was really, of course, there was that opportunity of, getting more in terms of the benefits. Uh, but anyway, one way or another, we were, there's a way we were able to, make up for the deductions because, like, we could get like extra, lessons, private lessons and make the extra money that we were able to, pay for the apartments and stuff. But now there was one colleague who joined us later. Um, but now her case, and that's why I actually decided to make this video, partly was the mistakes that I made or we made, like the lot that we came to Sudan at the beginning. But then the lady, hers was even worse. I don't know how, she was convinced to come to Sudan even without an appointment letter, and then then she was told to pay her ticket, and then they will refund the money. Okay, she did that and she came. Now, at least our contract or our agreement was okay. After we were interviewed, the air ticket was sent to us, and then that's how we came. But this one, she was told to look for money, pay for her ticket, come, and then it will be refunded and everything. And now remember, she didn't even come with an appointment letter. So when she got here, later, it's when we realized that okay, she was made to sign a contract, but the contract that she signed is actually the one that we had rejected, because when we got here, the contract we were given was a local, just meant for the local people, because like there was so much that was not, there. And one of the major things that was not in that contract was the air ticket. So this lady, when she came, she signed that contract. I don't know if she read or how she was convinced. But us, when we were given the contract to sign, we read through, and the air ticket was not there, the medical, the housing. So we kept disputing, and they were like, okay, we're going back, we'll go and correct and then bring it back to you. And then it kept dragging until 5 years down the line, we literally never signed. But anyway, they kept paying the salary and everything. But now what happened to this lady? I remember the time, there's a time like the holiday time. We used to be given a return ticket, once a year. In between, if you wanted to go home, like the expense was to be borne by you. But then if like at the end of the academic year, the organization gives you a return ticket, back to your home. So on the day that we were to travel back home for, vacation, so we were called, and then each and every person was being handed, their ticket. And I remember it was the salary for that month. Now, time came for this lady, the colleague who joined us later, to go and, collect her salary and her ticket. So when she went, she was just given her salary, and the general manager then told her that she wasn't given a ticket. So, and remember, we were actually being given a ticket like on a Thursday, here Friday is not a working day. So on a Thursday, and the flight is on the same day, and we're being given the ticket around 4-5 in the evening. And remember that we used to go back by Kenya Airways. So Kenya Airways used to leave like by midnight. So by midnight, we used to be at the airport, and then so it's at 5. We're being given the ticket. This lady is being told, no, we don't have your ticket. So when, upon asking, she was asked, do you have a contract? And then she said yes. When she was told, okay, can you produce your contract? Can you show us where it says we're supposed to give you a ticket? That's when, the realization came to the lady that she signed a document, and now it was binding, and there is no way the organization was going to give her, a ticket. And that's exactly, I think, what they were trying to do to us when they were trying to make us sign, the contract, and we kept, telling them, this is not what we agreed, so, and they kept, giving us the ticket. But then for this lady, that was really a very sad state of affairs. That actually Sudan is one of the most expensive routes in Africa, actually. Because I remember, like, then the return ticket was almost like, I think, $600, $700. So I mean, it was really bad. So like she literally had to use part of her salary to, maybe find her way home. I don't know even actually what happened to her, because we were being given the ticket on the same day that we were supposed to travel. It was on a Thursday. The following day was on a Friday, meaning there was no one that was going to be in the office, because Fridays and Saturdays here are weekends. And then we could not sit back and then have the tickets cancelled. And then so generally I think, to me it was a learning lesson, like what I saw happening to her, but of which it's something I knew happens. That's why I would rather not sign a document that I think is not okay, because it will not be binding, compared to signing a document and then later, like it comes and ties you down, like what this lady went through. So I just wanted to share this, that was something that I told myself, like in future I would do it differently. And of course I have done it differently, because I left the organization that I was working with. Then I went back to Kenya for 1 year, and then again I came back. So coming back, I was more woke. So like everything that I had done wrong, I made sure that it was like okay. So like where I am right now, like I made sure like I had my contract. I made sure everything was included before I left Kenya, said that at least I knew I was covered. Because again, another thing that is very important, if you get an international assignment, it's very important to try and look at the labor laws of that country. Most of these labor laws are online. You can like download, check what the labor law says, how they protect the employee. What does it say concerning you know um, maybe international stuff, or foreign stuff, because that can be a guide. And also another thing that is good to check when maybe you're getting an international assignment is, okay, other than the contract that I'm saying you must have, that includes each and everything, like this country is really very expensive, on top of like the housing, food, you know it's very expensive. So you can imagine, like for instance, if you let's say, even if you're given a salary of say $1,000, which is like say 100,000 Kenya shillings. Well, it sounds like a lot of money back home. But then here, if at all it doesn't cover housing and doesn't cover like food, you might end up using like your entire salary here. And especially if you're not being given like say a ticket back home, you might actually end up more frustrated than you came. So probably maybe this one is will teach somebody, just a way of trying to avoid some of these problems that sometimes people face when they work in other countries. All right, so I think I'll see you in the next vlog, and then I'll try to tell you, like the worst, like orientation, or how do I call it, the induction, that we were given. Like really, it's one of the things that I didn't expect. But then I'm gonna share that story so that you just maybe get to know. So that if, let's say, you are an employer and you have maybe your own company, and you're bringing employees on board, I mean, at least some of the things that probably you will not want employees going through. Or if you're an employee, at least you get to learn some of the things that you are likely to go through, in case maybe things went the way I will tell in the next vlog. Until then, bye bye.